Hey girls, it is Thursday, May 7th, and today we will be working on Lesson 10, continuing in Module 6. So make sure you have your packet with you because we will be doing some examples from your packet, and you want to be at the Mission 6, Lesson 10 for today. Our I can statement. I can use area models and the number line to compare decimal numbers and record comparisons using less than, greater than, and equal to. So this example here is in your packet. So we need to fill in the number line for 23 hundredths. Now remember that 23 hundredths contains 2 tenths and 3 little hundredths. Or we can say 23 hundredths in all. So I'm going to shade those 2 tenths first. And then I just need 3 little hundredths more, which is probably about there. So that would be 23 hundredths. Here I have 4 tenths. Now those 4 tenths, 4 out of 10. And I can clearly see, that this 23 hundredths is less than 4 tenths. Now I'm going to another example. This one I don't believe is in your packet, but there is a similar one in there. So here I have 4 hundredths. That means just 4 little pieces, which is probably about that. Here I have 4 tenths, which would be 4 out of 10 larger pieces. So I can clearly see that this 4 hundredths is less than this 4 tenths. Remember, when you have a digit that is 2 places behind the decimal point, that it's hundredths. So those are the littler pieces that we have. This example is in your packet, first part of number 2. And this is using a number line. So I have 10 and 3 hundredths. Remember, those 3 hundredths are the teeny tinier pieces. And then I have 10 and 3 tenths. Well, I'm going to start over here with my 10 and 3 tenths because it's right here. And that 10 and 3 tenths is right there. 10 and 3 hundredths. Well, here's 10. That's 10 and 1 tenth, which would be 10 hundredths. So 10 and 3 hundredths is very close to that 10. So what does that mean? Well, it means that 10 and 3 hundredths is less than 10 and 3 tenths. So again, reminding you that these little the hundredths are the smaller pieces in between my tenths. So now we're going to do some work on our whiteboard. All right, so now let's do some examples from the second part of your problem set on the back, where you have to compare using greater than, less than, or equal to. So Just like when we compare with fractions, the first thing that we look at is the whole number part. This is an example right from your problem set, letter A. The whole numbers are the same. They're both 3 wholes. So now I go to the next smaller part. In the tenths place, I have 4/10 versus 7/10. Well, 4/10 is less than 7/10, so 3 and 42/100 is less than 3 and 75/100. Now this is letter C. If you look at letter C, we have 2 and 15/100 and 3 and 15/100. If you look at the whole numbers are different. So I don't have to go any further. 2 is less than 3. So 2 and 15/100 is less than 3 and 15/100. Next one is letter E. I have 12 and 7/10. I have 12 and 70/100. Now, remember when we were working yesterday, I suggested, just like we do with fractions when we find a common denominator, with our decimals, we also can make common units. So I want to make these tenths hundredths. So now when I look at this, I have 12 and 70/100 and 12 and 70/100. They are equal. So you're going to do letters B, D, and F on your own when we're done here. So this goes to your last question, but again, still using greater than, less than, or equal to, but they put them in different forms. So here I have 23/10, and my suggestion is when it's in different forms, change the fractions to decimals. So first, I'm going to write this as a fraction, 23/10. And that fraction, which is improper, I'm going to change into a mixed number, and then a mixed decimal. 23/10 is equal to 2 and 3/10, which is equal to 2.3. So 23/10 and 2 and 3/10, or 2.3, are absolutely equal. Going to try a few more examples. They're similar to what's in your problem set, but not exactly the same. So if I have something like I have 2 and 4/100, a mixed fraction, and then I have 2 and 4/10, a mixed decimal. I'm going to change, I'm going to solve this problem 2 ways, and you'll pick the way that's best for you. The first way I'm going to solve it is I'm going to change the 2 and 4/100 to a decimal. 2 and 4/100. Well, there's no tenths and there's 4/100, so it's 2.04. And then I have the 2.4. So I'm going to start my comparing. My whole numbers are the same. I go to the tenths place. I have 0. I have 4. 0 is less than 4. I could have also throw in a 0 here, 4 versus 40. So that means 2 4/100 is less than 2.4. Now I'm going to do the same problem, but solve it in using a different strategy. Instead of changing the fraction to a decimal, I'm going to change the decimal to a fraction. So I know that 2.4 is really read 2 and 4/10. And I know that 2 and 4/10 is the same as 2 and 40/100. Just like before, my 2's are the same. 4/100 versus 40/100. 2 and 4/100 is less than 2 and 4/10. So you're going to end this video, or this video is going to end, and you are going to complete your problem set, take a picture of it, and send it to me. Bye.